Hey, what's up guys, Tetrack here. Gonna show a little bit of my Steam control configuration I'm using in Warframe. I have a slide on left thumb pad and jump on right thumb pad, which makes it easy to jump around. Got some decently level players here, so it should make it pretty easy. I'm using, I think his name's Vauban. I just got him. I don't know, his abilities seem a little weak to me. I think they're supposed to be working on him. I have no idea. So you can tell I use Shiro a lot in this, and very slight movements to make my turns, which the sensitivity is high enough to where make my turns work pretty quickly. If I need to. I will put this up so you guys can give it a go and see what you think. You may have to adjust the sensitivity to your liking, because I found out on somebody else's I tried that the sensitivity was too low and I wasn't actually turning, even though in his video it showed that it was. So I hope it works for you guys if you do give it a try. I have a sprint on outer ring binding on my left thumb pad, so I can push all the way to the edge and it comes on, and then release in the center and it goes off. Trying to get the last 3 levels to max them out. Hopefully these guys stay in longer than 5 rounds. I'm using a themed weapon. It does kind of like an AoE. And if you play Warframe, you probably know it, the Atomos. And as my primary, I use the comb. Yes. So this is the comb. It's a auto shotgun. 60 rounds. See, I can turn pretty quickly. It does take a while to get used to this, but Man, it's pretty fun once you get the hang of it. I have this big freaking giant axe. At the end of the video, or at the end of this round, I'll jump out on 10 and I'll show you the layout of this config. But I will put the link in the at the bottom, and if you guys want to give it a try, it'll be there. My abilities are pretty unique. They're all bound to the right thumb pad, so when I hold the right bumper, I mean, I would say unique. A lot of people who use the Steam controller do this. They'll put certain things on the right thumb pad so they don't have to take it off. So things that are normally on your face buttons, that A, B, X, Y. So if I want to throw out my 1, which my first ability, I can just hold it and he throws it out. If I want to throw out my third ability, seems kind of useless right now to throw it out. So that I just threw it out there. Okay, let me know what you guys think, if I'm doing this okay, or this looks like it's working. Seems to work for me. But yeah, that's about it. It's right about been 10 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop out. So, while this is loading, so for movement here, I'm using the gyro with the medium acceleration, right pad touch sensitivity, right below the V, smoothing's all the way up. Right trigger dampening, so when I soft pull it, it slows the movement down so I can get more precise with my targeting. And I've also adjusted it on the trigger press dampening instead of it being all the way up, because that's just too slow. Put it right there by the D. So that's the mouse. And then the mouse movement on the right pad, acceleration high, trackball friction low, sensitivity is cranked up just a little bit past the Y. My rotation, because of how I move my thumb to keep everything flat, is up. This is to keep it vertical so I don't do movements up and down, so that way I can, because most of my targeting is done with gyro. So this will keep it flat instead of, like, if I swipe it'll accidentally go up or down. This keeps it from doing it that much. Smoothing's all the way up. Also, I do have edge spin on here. It's not like all the way, but you barely notice it's there, but it's there when you need it. You probably, if you notice in the video, my thumb stayed fairly in the middle of that thumb pad, but if I ever went to the edge, it would start to turn very slowly. The further I went out, it sped up. But this actually feels pretty good. Then also right trigger soft pull. So when I aim, I want this vertical movement to be even instead of it just being flat on the vertical, right? On the horizontal. So basically it makes it, when I right soft pull, it's going to make everything move. So when I move up and down, it'll give me back that speed that I need. And then it'll actually slow down the dampening here too, so I get a little more precise. There's no edge spin on this because I don't need it. It's for aiming, and you really don't need it. Smoothing, I don't know. I've heard a few things about smoothing. Like it helps with high sensitivity, but when you lower sensitivity, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. And I don't know. I just kept it at base value, which was what they had it at the default, because you're not going to notice it that much with this right trigger soft pull dampening. And I got it a little bit more than the mouse movement. So typically in games, most of the time when you pull when you scope, that's when it slows down. But in this game, you don't want it to slow down, because when you jump and you, let's say you jump and you, what do you call it? Stick to a wall, you jump at a wall, and then you want to be able to flip around while you're on the wall really quickly. And then when you hold the right trigger, it slows down. So that way you get that freedom movement while you're holding onto the wall, and then right trigger soft pull to help you aim better. So crouch and slide, like I said, is on the left thumb pad, and then mouse is on the right thumb pad. I know a lot of people like to use this for movement, but ever since I've gone to the pads, it really feels a lot better. Sprint on the outer ring binding, so when I reach at the outside, it'll start to sprint. And I did crank that down just a tick to it feels a little better. Got it on relaxed response curve. And medium haptics, they usually have this on low. I suggest cranking it up because you're going to feel that sprint when you move it up. Some people like to use high. Medium feels okay with me. So that's about it. I'll go ahead and post this. I mean, everything else is pretty much the same. I mean, I've made some of my own tweaks that you guys might want to move around. The most important thing is trying to get these trying to get these mouse movements to feel correct. I was doing a lot of like on the trackball friction, a lot of swiping before, where I would swipe to move, and it worked. But there is a weird thing that happens when you swipe. When you release and you swipe, you start to spin, right? And during that spin movement, your gyro is deactivated. So if you're doing a lot of aiming, you got to stop the spin before your gyro kicks back in, and then you can start aiming again. So instead, what I did was increase the sensitivity here to give me back a little bit more freedom so I can gyro aim more. There also, real quick, because you need to, I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. Also, real quick, you have to go into the options here, and this is my look sensitivity. So 20, 20, and 40. I bumped the aim scope up, right? The reason I did that is because if it's the game automatically has a sensitivity for that lower than what the normal look sensitivity is. So I had to bump it up to try to make it even with the look sensitivity, because I'm using the Steam to control all the sensitivity, right? The Steam API. And then you also want to do that with the Archwing settings. All right. Make sure your toggle sprint is off. You don't want that to where it toggles between it. It's going to mess everything up. Pretty much that's about it. I mean, you don't have to go into the controller because the Steam API does everything for you. So I'll go ahead and put this link in. I have it here under my personal, but I'll share the config and put it in there for you guys. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one, guys.